Welcome back to the Dividend Diplomats YouTube channel. You got your boys here, Lanny, Bert, the Dividend Diplomats. Guys, today, this is a little bit of old news, but we got to talk about it here on this channel. We are talking about a big dividend update from one of the dividend investing community's favorite dividend ETF funds. And I'm going to tell you how much money this fund paid me this last week, everybody.
Nice job, guys. Before we dig into this big ETF, big dividend announcement, smash that subscribe button. Give Bert, the Herd, and I a nice thumbs up, guys. Let's go. We're gearing up for the holidays next week, guys. And come holiday season, looks like Papa Powell just says, I'm going to throw you guys a nice Christmas present. We're going to modestly talk about what we're going to do with interest rates and send the stock market sky high, guys. Because at the time of this video, we're recording this here on, gosh, what is it, Bert? Is it December 14th right now?
That
And
is correct.
it is correct. 5 days up to now, up 3%. Year to date, up 23%. Guys, we are very, very close to all-time highs with the S&P 500 right now. So everything is firing on all cylinders. And this dividend ETF that Bert's about to talk about is also firing on all cylinders now.
That's right. And before we do this, I just got to laugh at one thing. We talked about Broadcom in a video earlier in the week. It was at $925 when we talked about it. It's now over $1,100 as we speak. So that tells you how crazy it's been in the last 7 days. That's all you need to take a look at right there.
You know, it's crazy, and this video is not about it, but VYM is over $111 a share.
That's disgusting. So that's
That
an
is
excellent.
disgusting. Let me know in the comments if you guys hold VYM and if you freaking don't even believe it, because they are also at the 52-week high point, essentially.
Yeah. So to segue off of that, speaking of insanity, the fund we're going to talk about today is finally above a certain threshold. We're going to talk about Schwab's US dividend equity ETF. Schwab is at 75.69 after months and months and months trading in the high 60s, low 70s. It popped. It was like when CM Punk returned. Well, that's what's going on right here.
The best in the world.
Yes, that's right. So what happened? We know December is the best time for dividends, everybody, especially for ETF holders like Lanny, like myself, and like so many out there on the YouTube and Xverse, whatever you want to call it, because those ETFs pay their big, juicy Q4 quarterly dividend, and mutual funds pay that capital gains distribution.
Yep, it's a big time for dividends, and SCHD was right there as well, guys. They wanted to make a splash to end the year, and I think all shareholders should be happy because there's three big positive dividend news that really came from SCHD this quarter.
Yeah, they announced a record-setting dividend for SCHD. They announced for Q4 a 74.23 cent dividend. That was a record-setting dividend for SCHD, the highest they have ever paid, ever paid. Compare that to the previous year and the previous dividend, it was 70.34. That was an increase of 5.53% from Q4 2023 to Q4 2022.
Nice big increase, guys. 4 cents, let's call it, higher than this time last year. Also higher than last quarter. Yes, it's true. Oh, it's damn true. And year to date, it's higher versus last year, guys. SCHD. And this could be one of the highest, if not the highest dividend SCHD has ever paid.
Yeah, that's right. So when you take it now, you add in now we have a full year. This year they've paid $2.65.8 in dividend. That was compared to last year $2.56.15. That's a 3.77% increase. So that's a pretty solid increase when you consider that they had a decrease in Q2. Let's not forget in Q2, they actually decreased compared to last year nearly 6%. So they were recovered. They had a very strong second half of 2023, and they saw that dividend jump up 3.77%.
Oh man, guys. So let's pause here. Who owns SCHD? Who here was celebrating some news with some Steve Weisers? Bert's got his Bud Light right there, crushing cans, taking names, guys.
That Joe
Bert's
Flacco
passive
right
in.
there? Is that Joe
Is
Flacco?
that we need Joe?
Yeah.
Where are the brownies? Here we go. So Bert, you
Yeah.
guys have owned a lot of shares. Your plan was to buy shares of SCHD every week,
Yeah.
and you increased that, I think, to 3 shares per week.
Lanny, it wasn't 3 shares we increased it to. It was 4 shares. We doubled it
Whoa,
from 2 to 4. We were buying 2 for most of 2023, and we said, F it in November. We're juicing that up to
dude.
4 shares. That's in my wife's portfolio. So my wife's position has grown to 131.873 shares. But that's not the only place we hold SCHD. I've talked about it on this channel before. I bought it in my portfolio when I did a split rollover between VYM and SCHD. She owns 132 shares about. In that my portion of it, it's 126 shares. So in total, combined for both of us, we own nearly 258 shares of SCHD.
Where you're like, oh, it's true. It's damn true.
That's right.
So, so you got this big increase, Bert. You've got the ability to drip quite a bit. So what happened in that Q4 dividend? Because it paid last week, right?
Yeah, it's already done. We know the results. Luckily, it dripped at 72.5 shares before the big run up at 70 that yeah, well, the price was at 72.50. Her dividend was 93.96 and she dripped 1.296 shares. My dividend was $92.63. I dripped 1.278 shares. So in total, both of us combined we got $186.59 of dividend income and 2.574 shares dripped.
And those drip shares then added a total of $6.84 to Bert and his wife's forward income, guys. So $186.59, boom, produced 2.5 shares, boom, added almost another $7. And guess what? The next quarter is going to be even better than for this guy.
Yeah, that's absolutely right. And now that we have these positions, we're just going to tally it up here. It's going to bring 2.658 times the number of shares we each have. Our dividend income totals for our SDHD positions are a little under $700 total. So we're both receiving combined $685 from SCHD with this position.
Oh, man. Oh, man. Now, here's the question. Now that the stock market has risen and the dividend increase, I guess, or the dividend for the Q4 was announced, what's your plan, Bert, with SCHD going forward, this big dividend ETF?
Well, I said in that video for my wife, I want to keep investing 4 shares every week until she hits $500 individually for dividend income. She's at about 380 right now in this. So we've still got room to go. And we are going to keep going because that's what being a consistent
Show
investor
goes
is
on.
all about. Yeah, let's go. They're not getting me out of this building. Because in all seriousness, there are going to be good weeks, there are going to be bad weeks. The point is you remain consistent, you stick to your strategy and watch your position build over time. That was the lesson we learned several months ago, Lanny. You don't try to time the market and you don't try to time the market with your weekly average positions. You don't say, hey, at one point over these 5 days, I'm going to put 4 shares. So I have to watch the market every single time. It's automated. Every Monday when the market opens, we are putting 4 shares of SCHD in my wife's account. Yes, you would think I am the Italian one in this with how my hands are moving today while I am talking.
And it's a good, I mean, hey, yeah, keep it moving because you can't time the market, guys. Time in the stock market, staying invested, staying consistent, boom, it's going to literally domino into something great. And that's exactly what Bert and his wife are experiencing when they were buying in the 60s, buying in the low 70s. Now it's in the mid to upper 70s. So if everybody's sitting here saying invest into treasuries, maybe a later video we'll have, you know, Bert just received a lot of 10% bumps on his prices in a matter of a few weeks. So that's why you just keep investing when prices are lower in the stock market. And you can't predict what Mr. Powell or what the Fed is going to say that's going to move and sway the market.
That's right. And over time, SDHD has proven its ability to grow its dividend. Sure, this year was a 0.77% increase. But the last 4 years before that were all double-digit annual dividend growth rates when you compare the dividends received each year. They have a 13.2% 5-year average dividend growth rate. It's hard to beat that, especially with your when you're trying to build out your consistent dividend investing and you consider their yield over 3.5%.
And, not to play spoiler, so they've had some really strong double-digit years, which still leads to the 13.2% 5-year growth rate. Since they had a low year this year, 377, do you think the odds are in their favor to have a better 2024?
That's we'll have to find out. So everyone, let me know. Did you receive a dividend from SCHD? If so, what was the dollar amount of the dividend received? You gotta let us know down there in that comment section below.
Guys, if you haven't, subscribe, like this video. Pumped for all you SCHD and all dividend shareholders right now. Congratulations on the increase. Congratulations on the dividends as we finish out the year. Man, Bert, there's something missing here.
You're either with us or you're against us, Jack.
That was Bert, the Hurt Man and Lanny from the DD, over and out.